Good welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining our session with Grow with Google. And today is a very interesting topic. titled Cybersecurity and Your Small Business. I'd like to let you know that it's not only for your small business, but it's also cybersecurity and your personal space online. So it's not limited to just your small business. So we'll go straight right in. We have just 1 hour, so I would be a bit fast, but I do recommend that if there are things that are not very clear, you can watch the video again, or you can refer to the handouts that we'll be sending out to everyone. So welcome everyone from different places you are joining in. So let's start with some definitions, because some of us may not be so used to the term cybersecurity. But in understanding cybersecurity, let's define what is a cyber attack. So a cyber attack is, any offensive action that targets, it's cyber. So it's about computers, computer networks, infrastructures online, or smartphones. So any attack, just like you could be, if one is attacked physically by, let's say, someone is attacked by a robber, that's like a physical attack. But a cyber attack is an attack not physical, but online, on your computer or on your mobile phone. So protecting yourself against attacks, just like you protect ourselves against, when you say security in our daily lives, we want to protect ourselves against kidnappers, against armed armed bandits or armed robbers, or against hijackers, anything. So also, cybersecurity is a way of protecting yourself against cyber attacks. So the National Institute of Standards and Technology says that cybersecurity is the process of protecting information by preventing, detecting, and also responding. So you want to prevent, and it happens. You also want to detect and correct it if it eventually happens. So this is myself. Probably I just put on my video for a second so that you can see me for a moment. Okay, sorry, it's a bit cold where I am, so I'm wearing a sweater. So you're welcome, everyone. I would off the video after a while so that it's not distracting. So what do we hope to cover in this workshop? We want to talk about why cyber security matters to you, both in your business and in your everyday life. We also want to tell you, or showing you the ways you can protect your business online, or even if it's sole proprietorship, it's just yourself in the business, or just perhaps your work, even if you're an employee. And if you're hopefully not, but if an attack happens, what do you do? And we'll recap. So there's a whole great deal of information on cybersecurity. And one of the Google free certificates, it's on cybersecurity. But we're not going to go that deep. We're just trying to give you surface, but good knowledge. I'd like us to do a survey. But before doing the survey, let me off my video. I want to explain um, how people could be scammed or defrauded. And I want to see our demographics, which of these apply to you. So phishing is when you receive fake emails, you know, as if they are from a reliable source, like a bank or a government telling you that your bank has given you a loan, or the government is giving you some money and they're asking you for information. So that's what phishing is called. Number two, you have online shopping and fake websites. So you have fake websites trying to help tell you that they're Amazon or Shopify or whatever website, eBay, and asking you for your information. But phishing is more of emails and calls, while the online shop websites are like fake websites. Number three, you have investment and Ponzi schemes, where people tell you that if you put in a little amount of money, you will get so much more amount of money. And it was from Charles Ponzi, who, was renowned. The scheme was named after somebody, who was renowned for doing that. And it's really a pyramid kind of fraud, because if you come in at the beginning, you get your funds, but at the end, those who come in who are recruited later would really miss their investment. Then you have the romance scam, where people promise you love, and they could even use AI to change the way they look. And people who are in need of love, especially in developing countries, people use love as a bait to win and get them money or get a way of migrating. Then you have technical support scams where somebody says he's from Google or Microsoft and he wants to support you, has seen a virus, but it's not true. Number six, you have lottery or inheritance. Somebody says he's your uncle or your grandfather was a great man and you just won a lottery and they want to give you some of the money, but it's a scam. You have job-related scams where people promise you employment, but they'll ask you for some money or some finance in return of employment, but it's not true. Then you have impersonation scams where people pretend to be who they are not. They pretend to be law enforcement agents, tax agents, different agents from legitimate bodies, but they are not. Then you have charity and relief scams. People tell you, oh, they are raising money for the war in Ukraine, raising money for the war in Gaza, but it's not true. Then you have QR code crypto scams that use QR code or fake crypto influencers, and they are not true. You have rental and real estate fraud, where people promise you to make payments to get a house, but it's not true. They are not the legitimate agents to get the house. Then, of course, you have social media influential scams where people pretend to be a celebrity and are not. Now, why am I doing this? Is because I'd like us to do a survey and see from our demographics what where are most of us in this. So can you scan this QR code or go to menti.com? If you go to menti.com or scan this QR code, let me put menti.com here. Menti, because I like to see your thoughts. Yes. So if you go to menti.com, that's menti.com. I'll put it on the chat group. I like to see your thoughts. So in menti.com, I'd like you to scan this QR code. And I'd like us to take this quick survey to see which of this could apply to you. Okay. So we're here now in menti.com. So you can use the QR code if you're on your mobile phone. If you're not on your mobile phone or your laptop, you could go to this and enter this link here, so that we can do this survey very quickly because we don't have much time today. Yes, so we're asking, have you ever been scammed? So we just want to know, only 2 people have answered. So if you have like 10 people or 12 people, we can go ahead. So please, thank you for your answers. Yeah, so just to know the demographics of if anybody has scammed you or if anybody, one of those 12 that I have shared with us, if any of them have ever happened. So if I just get some few people, okay, so we have more yes than no. Or for now, yes, thank you. We'll just be as quick as we can because of our time. Okay, so once I get like a sample size of 10, or we have only 8. Can we have some more people, please? Let's have a good sample size. Okay, can we have more people, please? Go to menti.com. Look at the QR code here. This is the QR code. And use this QR code in menti.com. Let me drop the QR code. Okay, a lot of you are saying yes. I can see it on the chat. Okay. Okay, I wanted us to use. Okay, that's the QR code. Okay. Okay, we have up to 10. Very good. So we can see majority of us have had one encounter. So this is why this training is important. Sorry, this webinar, because it's going to help us, give us some little basic common sense skills that can help us to prevent this happening. So let's go to the next one. In what ways have you been scammed? Oh, so I like this. This is interesting. Most of us is investment and Ponzi schemes, which is what we were talking about here. So look at the investment and Ponzi schemes, where people will promise you higher returns for money, encouraging you to invest, and those are not true. So that's where you see most of our demographics. Most people are investments and Ponzi schemes. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. So let's see. Okay, see, most is still after that. You have job related, exactly, because you see, it's related to money because you're looking for a job. So people know because you're looking for a job, they want to scam you. People know you're looking for money, they want to scam. So you have to be very, very cautious. And the third one, you can see online shopping or phishing or scams. So, well, this is very interesting. Thank you. So let's go and see what do you learn from the experience. I don't have experiences, informative, empowerment, verify before anything. Good, patience. Thank you. So you need to be patient. You need to verify, which are some of the things we're going to say. You need to avoid, do not be greedy also. So we already have most of the solutions. We need not to be greedy. Um, and what again am I seeing here? Not to trust every website. Very, very good. So thank you. So that was just a quick way for us to see. So you can see that most people have had some kind of encounter with being scammed. Most scams are from investments, then by jobs, then online. And most people have learned a lot, saying they need to avoid uh, fake websites, they need to be patient, they need to not fall for the trap of greed. So thank you for your contributions. So we go back to our slides very quickly. So um, so look at an example of a spam email, greed. It says, note, if you found this in your junk, it's because of your internet. This congratulations, you have won 1.5 million US dollars. So those kind of emails um, are donated by the 2023 fund, and they are not true. And you see the sense of urgency, urgent reply. So there are all kinds of them. And of course, you see that most of them are around money. So that's why greed is the insatiable or relenting desire for anything. Can be greedy for food, greedy for money, greedy for material possessions. So if you check yourself, and if you're a person of faith, in the Catholic Church, you have what they call the seven deadly sins, and one of them is greed or avarice. So you have to be very cautious about people just promising you anything. So there are some around subscriptions and a whole lot. But let's go on. So look at some of the points you said. You must verify before you trust. In fact, we didn't write greed here, but greed was a good one. So you must verify. You must be cautious when the requests are urgent. I never share your sensitive information no matter what. Check the website URL. We'll speak more on that. Use multi-factor authentication. We'll speak more on that. And if there's any problem, you can report to law enforcement, depending on the one in your country. So cybersecurity matters to every business. And why is that? Because there was a survey that was done from digital tools, and it says that 65% of uh, small business leaders says that cybersecurity and customer privacy are a concern. Yeah, because they are worried that their data are not secured. So that's what the majority say. And 85% say they have a cybersecurity plan in place. So I want to encourage you, if you are employees here in your company, try and find out from your small business or your organization if you have a cybersecurity plan. And if you don't have one, create one for your small company. Even if it's only you in the company, it's always good to have a cybersecurity plan or policy because it's important to your company. So how do you protect yourself online? So I want you to see that a cyber attack is like a house. And what happens is that a burglar will try to break into your house in any way. And any way they find a vulnerability, they would enter. So either your website is outdated, you have an outdated software, or any of your employees or the employees in that organization are vulnerable. Perhaps they use a wrong USB key or anything. So we need to know that anyway, scammers, like many of us who talked about the Ponzi scheme, I almost suspect that it was your good friend or your family that introduced you to the Ponzi scheme. That's my suspicion. So it's your family, it's your friend that a stranger might not have easily been able to introduce you to the Ponzi scheme. So what happens is that people who do attacks, they look at any vulnerability in your life. It can be of your website, it can be your phone, anything they can do. So we have to protect every area. So let's see the ways we can protect. Like I said, I'm a bit fast because not too fast, but I want us to cover everything and take some questions and comments at the end. So protect your password and identity. This is very important. Now, many of us use our date of birth as your password or something simple because that's what you can remember. But you need to make your password difficult to guess because if a hacker gets your biodata, let's say a hacker gets your ID card, he could run an algorithm that can create many passwords from your ID card. And if it's just your date of birth, you would easily be able to hack maybe into your bank. So if you want to use something you can remember, you can use your date of birth, perhaps your year of birth, your date of birth, perhaps your city of birth. So I could say I was born in 19 June 2000 in, for instance, Accra or in Kampala. So something and Kampala with, I will now put a asterisk or special characters to make it difficult. So your password, and it should be private, and also possibly if you can avoid using the same password for every account. Then you can use a password manager because of forgetting your password. So in Google Chrome, so if you open here, password.google.com, you will see your password managers if you have any password. I'm going to show you my password manager, and even though it's personal to me, so you can see all. I'm just showing you a section of all my password managers. So I don't remember these passwords. So if I go to any of these websites and I want to log in to any of these websites, I will just, I will just it will populate automatically. So that's the advantage of using a password manager. So if I go to Zyper and I want to log in, okay, that's not the correct Zyper I went to. Um, where's my password manager? Yeah, Zyper.com, Zyper. Okay, okay, Zyper software coming. So if I go to Zyper and I want to log into my Zyper account, um, Google would have already, so another easy way you can see it's, you can log in through your Google, using your Google account. So they can't check. So it's authenticating you through Google or Facebook. So this is one good way because you don't want to forget. Or if you put a password, you can see I have a password here, and you can see my password manager. You can see my password manager has taken the password. So even if I don't keep remembering it, once I save it, and you can see on my top right, you can see this key here. So every time you go to a website, if you're using Chrome, it will remind you that you can use your password manager to save. So that's an easy way so that you don't have to save passwords all over in your notebooks. But I also recommend you have a safe place, um, and a safe place that you put your password either online that you lock it or on a notebook that people cannot access. So that's one way. Another way is the two steps verification, where you see you have to get like a verification key. Many of us, especially those of us that do mobile banking, we're used to this, what you call an OTP, a one-time password. So you go to your bank and you try to make a transaction, but it wants to verify you are the one. So it sends a one-time password to your mobile phone or to your email. So that's always to protect you. So many websites do OTPs, and they recommend, some are optional, but they recommend that you use OTP. So if you are in a company and you feel that information is important, you can further enhance your passwords by using an OTP. So even if somebody breaks and gets your password, he most likely will not have your mobile phone and your email. So even if he gets the password, he will still need a second level authentication using the one-time password. And if you use Google Workspace, Google Workspace has the power. If you're using that for your business or you have a paid account for Google, um, you can use the two steps authentication or verification on your Google Workspace. So look at some security checks. You can limit who can see your files, warn users when they share a file with people outside your organization, restrict calendar sharing with people outside the organized company. So these are some of the things that come by default in Google. So let me give you an example. This is a free Google account. This is one of my free Google accounts. So I have this file on Python on computer science that I was teaching my daughter, or we were learning some things. So you can come here and you can easily share. So one way is, data rights or user accesses is very important. So if you click share, you can put whoever you want to share with. So let me put my my uh other account, and I can give this account editor viewer, meaning I can only view, and commenter, meaning the person can comment. So the way you manage your access is because you don't want in your organization everybody having access to all the files. There are some confidential information around finances, around regulations that you don't want to put it out there. So you can use file sharing to see who has access. But if it's something that you want everybody to see, you can you don't have you can say restrict, and I can say anyone with the link. So if I click here, anyone with the link, and I save it, then anybody with the link to the file can see. Imagine that is for public consumption.
Sure.
So
So
sometimes your
sometimes
timetables are are shared online because that's for public consumption. So you can use user accesses also to protect yourself and making sure that you restrict accesses to only rightful people in your business or in your organization. So if you don't have a user access policy in your company, even if it's a small business, it's something that you can look for. So let's also look at protect your equipment and your apps. Um, Keep your computer in a safe place. Don't leave computers unattended. You can use a lock screen, just like your phone. You can set your phone or your computer to automatically lock. So imagine you walk out and you forget, and only enable services or apps that the people need to do their work. If you are in a company, you don't need people to install every kind of app,
uh,
and you need to be careful with um, USB keys, because that's an easy way. Well, with the cloud, many people don't use USB keys today, but if you still use USB keys, you need to be very careful. Then you need okay. So let me make a comment on this, because I had a friend who lost his job because of this. And what happened was that this friend of mine, we were working in the same company. He is in charge of the vendor master data. And if a vendor that's a vendor of the company, if they want to change their bank details, he's the one that implements the change. But it goes through some checks. And one of the checks is that it must be authorized by his manager, and the vendor must bring a letter from his bank to say that he's not indebted to the bank. Why the company did this was the company discovered that some vendors will take money from banks and will tie it to their business with the company. So the banks will give them the money because they see the purchase order, they see the contract with the company. But now, when it is time for the bank to be paid back, because the vendor will go and ask the company to change to another bank. So the bank will give the loan to a vendor, but when it's time to get its money, the bank will not see that money coming back because the vendor has asked the company to change, and the company was changing previously, but the company found out that some vendors were being unscrupulous or were being deceitful, and says, okay, if we must change for you, confirm from this current bank that you don't have any loan with them, because we don't want to put the bank in a difficult situation. So this guy, somebody changed this vendor's account to another bank without any authorization. And when the IT team went into it, they saw that it was his user access. It was his user access. Recall, when I come here, the beautiful thing here, if I open this file. Let's say I open this file, for instance, here, and I want to see um, version history. Oh, is it the C version? So you can see, I can see when and who changed what. So you can see, I can see who changed it and when it was changed. So anything you do in the digital space can be traced. Anything you do can be traced most of the time. So they were able to trace it and say he was the one, but this person is my friend, and I still believed he wasn't the one, but he was sacked. But he told me that he left, he didn't have a, a lock on his screen. Why I'm saying this so that you are very careful that you password your mobile phones or your computers if you have sensitive data. Because he said that most likely he couldn't explain it. It was his user, he couldn't explain it, but most likely he left his computer unattended to, and somebody who was watching him quickly went while he was perhaps going to the washroom or went to the canteen to eat and used his access, and the person changed that vendor without him knowing. And but he was sacked for doing that. So these are the kind of things that you need to be careful that even your loved ones, your family members can take your mobile phone without your access and make a quick transaction without your approval if they are not locked or attended to. Okay, so keep softwares up to date. Now, this is very important. You see that in your company, on your website, on your mobile phone, you see like prompt saying, update your software. Those updates are not just for the fun of it. They are to help you, they are to protect you from, vulnerabilities and from attacks. So Google is a well secured. If you are using Google to do your business, it's very well secured, and it has all the security that you need. So you should also protect your customers. And somebody said that, in the survey, recall here in the survey, when we said, somebody says not to trust every website. You see, somebody wrote that here. So this is about not trusting every website. So if you look at a website without the S, it means it's not encrypted. So you can see this site I am in. Let me go to FLU website. So if you go to FLU website, you see that there, you can see the S here. You can see S, so it's encrypted. So what this means is that is hypertext transfer protocol secured. So that S means it's secured, and it means that hackers, so the hacker cannot break into, let me say it's impossible. It's more difficult that information in these websites can be accessed by hackers because of this encryption. However, let's look at a website that doesn't have an encryption. So I just saw this example online. It's called HTTP Forever. So can you see that this website, if you come here, uh, it's not secured. There is no HTTPS. So if you go and make a payment on a website like this that does not have the S, and usually your web browser will show you that it's not secured, it means that hackers can easily get information to that website or to that information. Let's say you go and you use your credit card or you whatever, or you put your information there. So you need to make sure that you protect your customers. If currently you have a website that doesn't have an encryption, to protect your customers, consider many, many hosting platforms give encryption for free. Encryptions are not usually paid for, they're usually free. So you could consider putting that. So that's one way to protect your customers, to use an encryption. So don't worry, I'll take questions at the end, start the presentation, just so that we can make the most of the time. And Google sites are also protected. So let me close this because it's not encrypted. So if you, and Google sites are free. So let's go to an example. So this is Google sites. So I created a Google site. Google sites are free if you like. They are free websites. So you can see this is a Google site. We're giving it as an example to create it for a church. But you can see here that it's fully encrypted. You can see S. So HTTPS. So once you see the S, it means it is encrypted. So that's an example. And Google is saying that if you want a free website, you can try Google sites. They are free and they're also encrypted. So you should protect your email. You can use emails that have two-step authentication, and they use the transfer layer security. So they are encrypted emails. So you can send emails without encrypting them, and you can send emails with encrypting by the TLS, the encryption. So this is more for your technical team. So if your technical team, you have what you call SSL, CLS, but it's just to tell, like, if you send an email to us in Faith Leeds University, our emails are encrypted. They cannot be intercepted. So as your email journeys to us, it's not able to be intercepted because our email configurations are encrypted. So you don't see that at your own end. You just send us an email, but the configurations are encrypted. But some advices is to be careful when clicking attachments or downloading files, because many phishing or hacking mails or ransom emails or emails with viruses are when you open them. So when you open them, it's like a Trojan horse. You are authorizing that virus to come into your system. So don't be careful what you download. Be careful what you open. Just by clicking an email can get the virus into your whole network if you in your company. So if an email looks suspicious, or if the address or the signatures look suspicious, avoid them. So of course, we talked about phishing, where they pretend to be a legitimate organization, and they tend to clone it, but they are not. And look at some ideas of of a spam mail. Perhaps it may be poorly, it may have an unknown sender, somebody you don't know, may not have a profile. Like, I don't like showing my pictures, but sometimes the pictures could authenticate it, and it may be poorly written, and it will have some kind of attachment. So I think there's a good example here. So this is two emails coming from Google asking you to authenticate an account. Can you spot that one on your left, one on your right? Can you spot which one is real and which one is fake? I don't have I would have done a poll for that, but you can just put it on the chat group. Can you spot which of this is fake and which of this is real? Okay, so which one is fake? Is it the right or the left? Which one is the fake mail? Okay, thank you. So I'm seeing good responses on the chat group, and people who have responded have said it is the right. So you're correct. The right is fake. Now, why is the right fake? Let's take a look at why the right is fake. Look at the right. The sender is unknown. Maybe somebody you don't know. And look at the URL. So they said HTTPS, which is correct, accounts.google.com, which is correct, but .https.com. So they used a secured, but it's not from Google. They use Google and they put an extension. So if I go to, let's say, let me go to any URL creator. Let me say Namecheap. Namecheap create uh create not website, buy domain. I just want to give you an example how a hacker will look. So if I want to buy a domain here on Namecheap, I can come here, let's say Microsoft. So I can say, or let me, I don't know, what bank? Let me say a bank. Let me use a bank, and let's say jpmorgan.com, and I can now say .bank.com. So um you can see I can look for anyone that is available that is similar. Okay. So okay, this one is cheap. jpmorgan.is. So it's $45. I can add it. So they will look at something very similar and they would go and place it. So they used Google, like you rightly said here, but it's not really Google. They added some things to Google to make it look real. So we need to be careful about that. They would use an email in a phishing email. They would make an extension or they will change some words. So it may be google.india.ca.com, something, and the domain will be available, but you wouldn't know, but you really think it comes from Google. So, but Gmail is able to use Gmail. You can block most of 99% of spam emails, or it just goes to the spam folder. If you use Gmail or many or other email service providers, they go to the spam provider. So the bottom line is before you click on any money or any amount or anything, you should be very careful, and you should be very sensitive before you click. So one of the things is, I was mentioning to us to okay, I didn't mention something. Let me see. I didn't mention something. While I was talking about authentication, you can use a free authenticator for your two-step authentication if you are required by your now not every company has this, but by your bank or by your online service. So some of the free apps I wanted to mention this is Google Authenticator. Personally, I use a lot of Twilio and there's Microsoft. So if you go to um Google Play or you go to Apple Store, you'll be able to download any free authentication app. So what this does is even on your social media, like if you want to use Facebook or LinkedIn and you want to maybe advertise or do some extra things on them, they will ask you to authenticate. So just to mention that you can use free authentication apps to authenticate. So they will generate a code. So this is rather than the code uh, being sent to you. The code doesn't have to be sent to your to your phone. You can generate the code yourself with your authentication app. And I also wanted to mention again that um, you can around protecting your emails. I didn't mention that when I was talking about the protecting your emails, there's some things you can do. You can encrypt your emails. So I this is a Google account. Sorry, just open it up. This is a Google account, but this is a paid Google account. So if I want to send an email, let me say an email to john@gmail.com. So you can see what Google was saying. Be cautious about sharing sensitive information because John is outside my information. So that's one protection Google gives you. But I don't mind. I still want to share with John and I say hello. So some emails like Gmail can do this, but this is a premium Gmail account. This is not an ordinary Gmail account. This is a workspace Gmail in case you are using it. So you can see here this padlock. You can encrypt this email here. So I can say that this email expires in 1 week, in 1 month. So let's say I want it to expire in 1 month when I send to John. Then I can put an SMS. So I'll ask John for his mobile number and put the SMS code here. So when I want to send to John, okay, because I use Gmail. Let's say John is not on Gmail. Let's say I say John@flu.com. of FLU.education, for instance. So, and I want to send to him, I just want to show you something 1 month, and I say save. So if I want to send, oh, sorry, it didn't, I, um, sorry, it's not, it actually would ask for his phone number, but I think I missed it somewhere. Let me see. Let me try that again. John, let's say okay, yes, FOE.education, for instance. But I was trying to get like the passcode. So the SMS code, it usually would ask for an SMS code. So when yes, I think when John gets to the email, I don't have John's email, but it will actually ask him to expire after this time, and it will actually ask John to get a password before he and a an SMS, puts his phone number in the SMS before he can access it. Now, I don't want to spend all the time in doing it, but there are ways you can encrypt, and Microsoft also has encryption. So if you look at your email, if you are using a paid email service, you will see some kind of encryption where you can put a code, an SMS, or something before you send. If you are sending, let's say, very confidential data, maybe data with financial information, data that is very sensitive, it is strongly recommended that you encrypt it. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that out because I didn't mention that. So back to our slides. Um, it's always important that you have a plan. No one hopes to be hacked or to have a problem, but it's important to have a plan, and in case there's any breach of your security. And one of the way is to have somebody is to have a responsibility matrix where you say who is in charge and who does what if your organization is under a security attack. Who does what is very, very important. And what measures have you put in place? For example, if you have a ransomware attack, a ransomware is where people take your data or lock, let's say they lock your data or they steal your data and they say, unless you pay them, it's like blackmail. Unless you pay them an amount of money, they're not going to open your data or return your company data to you. Now, if you have a backup, then you can call their bluff and say, well, I have a backup, so I don't care. I can still work. But of course, if the data is like personal data, like people's credit cards or people's bank details, um, that's even more complicated. But if it's just data that you need, that the virus has locked your access from your own data, by having a backup could be a good solution. So every if you have a business or you are in a company, ensure that you ask your manager, do we have a cybersecurity plan? Are we ready if we're attacked? Now, some people may say, well, it may never happen. Yes, that's correct. But you don't take a spare tire because you expect, if you drive a car, you don't use a spare tire because you expect to have a flat tire. No, you do it if there's an eventuality. If it does happen, what do you do? That's why you put those, you should have a plan in place. Then you should be not uh consider these things. Create a record of all your technical assets. All the platforms you have, the website you have, are they up to date? Many of your assets will need patches, will need updates. If you are into the IT team, they will need to update it, and to the hardware to needs to if most times the softwares, and you need to keep them updated and have a list for them. These are good practices, and establish an internal training website. So just teach people basic ideas how to avoid suspicious emails, not to click suspicious emails, and if there's any problem, who they should contact. Maybe they think an email is suspicious. There should be somebody in charge of that or in the organization who can help. So depending on the size of the organization, if it's a small organization, maybe just yourself. If it's quite large, then you need to have somebody in charge. And of course, educate your employees on these basic ideas on security checks and avoiding red flags. Remember, one of the red flags of Ponzi schemes, like many of us said, recall our survey here, where we said most of us, majority of us have suffered investment and Ponzi schemes. And you remember the red flags. The red flags were the opportunities were too good to be true. If somebody is telling you that he can give you 100% every month, what business in the world does that? What is he doing? What is the economics behind it? So the red flag is if it's too good to be true, it's not true. No, that's one. Another red flag is urgency. Oh, you have to do it now. It's very urgent. You cannot wait. If you wait, you will miss it. So they put the FOMO effect. The FOMO means fear of missing out. They put the FOMO effect. So you can train people on the red flags, your employees, and I'm sure you have good security behaviors. So if you are attacked, what do you do? If you're attacked, you need to contact your financial institution, like your bank or your credit card, or yeah, your bank. You know, especially if it's about money. If you are compromised, you need to call your bank and say, somebody has my card. I don't know what's going on. Block my card. Cancel my card immediately. If you're in a place, a lot of especially um Europe and North America, where they use a lot of credit checks, your credit reports. So you can go and check your credit report because somebody could have taken a loan that you don't know. He used your information and he impersonated you, and he took your he went to take a loan on your behalf, and it's not you. So you need to check your credit report if your country has that facilities. And if you you see a charge, some of the payment platforms and banks can reverse charges. So it's possible that you can get your money back. Like I did that. I got my money back 2 months ago because I saw a subscription on my credit card. I don't think it was a fraud. I just think I went to the website. I don't know. I didn't authorize it. I don't know what happened. But anyway, they were charging me. But I told my bank to ask for a reversal, and it was reversed. So in some cases, it can be reversed. Not in all cases. If it is cash that was withdrawn from your account, you know that you cannot reverse that cash because the person has taken the cash. But if it's an online transaction, some of the payment platforms can have it reversed. And you can place a fraud alert on your accounts saying that if if you see any transaction outside my country, maybe you are sure that you don't go out to another country, or you don't use some websites, so you can put a fraud alert to say if it's outside this place or this site, then it's not me. But some banks do it automatically. So this is the Google Grow. It's really around America, around the United States. So it's very, very United States inclined. But I mean, whatever it is in your own country, you can find. Of course, you have local police. Every country most likely has a local police or a financial fraud agency that you can look at. Um, in the United States, it's the FBI Internet Crime Compliance Center is like the key place if you are in the United States. But if you're not in the United States, try to find your equivalent, especially if you feel that it will help other people. I know some countries, they don't really bother, but the good reason why you can report it, if especially if you're a company, is perhaps they can get your money back. Sometimes when they trace these fraudsters, I've seen cases where that many years, monies were still recovered, even in countries that are just developing countries. So you can report it. And of course, if you're in United States again, um, is the report fraud at the Federal Trade Commission and the identity theft. So identity theft is, like I said, when somebody impersonates you and pretends to be you and gets a loan or gets money. So we're rounding up. Remember, change your password if it's not secure. Seek technical support if your equipment is compromised, and continue to monitor all your accounts. Some people don't even check their bank statements. So there's what you call the salami fraud. So the salami fraud is somebody can be taking 10, $10, I don't know, 10 cedis, 10 shillings, 10 pounds, 10 of whatever it is. I think 10 is not a big number in most countries. So the person can be taking that money from your account every month or from your business. Let's say it's a business account and you don't know. And even some banks, forgive me, can put some charges. I had a situation where I was running an organization and the bankers were charging us fees that we never knew. They were not rightful fees. So we got an expert to do it, and our accountant didn't even see it, but we got somebody to reconcile for free. So the person said that he wouldn't charge us, but if he checks it and he sees any money that was not right, we split it. I would say, oh, good idea, because we don't think we had a problem. And when he checked, there was a lot of money that the bank was charging us that was not right. So you can also check that, because some bank employees could also be a bit not very straightforward. So this is the recap. Use strong password, use two-step verification, keep your equipment safe. Remember the HTTPS on your website. Use email providers that you can encrypt. I was trying to show that on Google. Make a plan. Always ask your company or ask your organization, do we have a security plan? Even if it's only you in the organization, ask yourself, do I have a security plan? That's an important question to ask. And develop and nurture a security culture. So those are the recaps. So basically, you can go to safety.google for more. I'm going to put the handouts. I'm going to put the handouts on so that you can check the handouts. I'm going to put the handouts on the. I'm going to put the handout here so you can access it. Yes. So
That's a
there
question.
you go. Yes, you have a question. Just a moment, please. Let me try to put the handout for everybody. Put everybody the handouts. Sorry, I'm not seeing. Just a moment. I'm just trying to get the handouts for everybody. Meeting group chat. Okay. All right. Okay. So please go ahead with your question. Yes, somebody was trying to ask a question. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Just uh, my question is this: I once had
Mr. Chidi. Mr. Chidi.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Mr. Chide, yeah. I had an e-commerce website, and I was doing well with it. So all of a sudden, uh, I logged in one day. I couldn't access my website. I just saw they closed it up, and they said you don't have access. In fact, those guys, they went in there, they made it private. They changed everything there, and
Right.
yeah. So, and I had HTTPS. Sorry. This is
HTTPS. Yes,
yes,
on
yes,
your website.
yeah, on
And
my
they still
website.
broke into it. Yes.
Yeah, and GoDaddy was my this. So I was wondering how were they able, until today I couldn't recover it. So I
Very
don't
good.
know.
Very good real life situation, Mr. Chidi. And that's a very good. Let me ask you, that e-commerce website, what e-commerce platform were you using?
First one was Shopify. The other one was this what's it called? Um,
Which one did they hack that you couldn't recover?
Now the one they hacked was the one I was doing Liberty Reserve. I was selling Liberty Reserve
I mean,
online.
what was the platform? What was it? WordPress? Was it Shopify? What were they using? What platform was
Yeah,
hosting it? What
WordPress. It was WordPress.
Very good. So that you've hit the nail on the head. So WordPress is open source, meaning that the codes are opened. And in WordPress, remember what we said? We say that if I go up, you need to keep the website updated. So in WordPress, you have what you call plugins. Now, if any of those plugins are not updated, then hackers, I don't know where I put that. Any of those plugins are not updated. You know where I showed you the house? There was a slide I was showing you the house. If any of those plugins are not updated, this house. So plugins, out of date software is on your website. So they entered through your unupdated plugin. That was all. That was all they did. They entered through your unupdated plugin, and that was why they could hack take over your site. But you can always recover it because they don't own your hosting. So all you needed to do was to ask your host company who was hosting your website. Which company? Can you remember the company hosting it? If you can remember, just ask your
Yeah,
host company.
GoDaddy. It was GoDaddy.
GoDaddy, good.
Yeah.
So just ask for GoDaddy and tell GoDaddy to. I'm happy you give it. That's a good example. Ask GoDaddy that if you paid for backup, GoDaddy will do a backup for you free of charge if your hosting plan came with a backup. If your hosting plan didn't come with a backup, then you would have backed it up yourself and restore it. So GoDaddy cannot say they won't put down the site. Once you call GoDaddy, they'll put down the site. It's your right because you are their client and you pay them. But they couldn't control the hacking in GoDaddy, but they can put down the site. So you just tell GoDaddy, my site has been hacked, put down my website. So that's one solution. If they could back it up, they back it up for they restore your backup. You may lose some data, but you get your backup. If they don't have you don't have a backup for you, that's one of the reasons that this webinar is important, meaning that you should have a backup on your own, or tell anytime you host your website, tell, especially an e-commerce website, pay for a plan that comes with a backup. Like we use SiteGround, and SiteGround has automatic daily backup. So the worst is we can lose information is maximum of 24 hours. That's the maximum. And that's not too bad. So if somebody hacks a website, you just say, okay, restore it, and you get your things back. All
Okay.
right.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, the slides are just two because in the link I sent to you, if I open it up, the slides are just two because this is the handout. It's not the full slide because Google Grow does not permit us to send the full slides. But you can always watch the video and refer to the handout. Does these two slides? But this full slides, it's we're not allowed to send it out. I hope that's fine. But you can always refer to the video and the handouts. Yes. Okay. So yes, I have Mr. Ayodeji. Yes, you want to ask a question? Yes, go ahead,
Good
Mr. Ayodeji. Yes, good. Yes, we have just few minutes left. So please go ahead.
afternoon. Enjoy the class. My question is that enable encryption.
I didn't hear your question, sir.
Is it only premium Gmail that enables encryption?
Yeah, so very good. So ordinary Gmail is good, it's strong, but yes, it's usually the premium. I need to help you double check. I know the premium definitely enables encryption, but if you don't have premium, what are other ways you can secure? I'm not sure. I don't know, but I I know the premium does, but I don't think the free version allows you encrypt. So if you are in a business, that means you need to, if you are doing a business, you need to get at least one email that is okay. But I'm seeing that okay, I've just checked. Even the free version allows it. So it's not only I'm just checking my free mail. So the free one allows like the SMS encryption. Yeah, so it's not only the premium, the free one allows it. I'm just checking it. The free one allows it. So the free email allows it. So you can check, just go to your Gmail, go to your free Gmail. I don't want to open my free Gmail here because you may see some of my personal items. But if you go to your Gmail, you will see that on Gmail, you will see even on your free Gmail, you will see it. So if I open it here, even on free Gmail, you see here the Google this tog, this one, so you can encrypt even on free Gmail. You can send and you can test it. You can test it and you see that it will generate an SMS code that will work. You can test it and you see it will work. So I just saw that.
All
Okay,
right, thank you very much.
thank you. I know we're out of time, but I don't want to, and I know there are a lot of people here. Can I please appeal to us for just 5 more minutes? If anybody, let's take 5 more minutes, please. But you are free to leave, of course. You will get your certificates if you attended and Just the normal way you can apply for your attendance certificate. Once we check the logs, you'll certainly get it. But in case there's anybody who is still here and has a question, and we can please just take perhaps 5 more minutes and we'll round up. So any question, please? Any further question from anybody? Let me check the chat group. You can also put it in the chat group. Yes, so the slides I said that you have is the video. Google doesn't permit us to share the slides, but they allow us to share the handouts. Okay. Okay. Apart from extension, is there any other scammers? Apart from extension, is there any other way scammers use to attack emails? Yeah, they can intercept an email. They can intercept an email if you're not using a good email provider. But most email providers, even Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, most of them are secured. But if you are paying for an email for your business, just try to get a good email provider so that, like Google is saying, even 99% of the spam emails, Google will help you put it in your spam, or Google will help you. Like if I come back here, you see that we have a spam email here. You can see spam. So see, Google has already helped me put this spam. See, you can see an example here. So payment settlements, financial credit controller. You can see this is a spam email. So I've never checked it, but you see that you say, good morning, I hope this finds you well. I would like to inform you I have successfully processed the payment transfer, head of finance. So this is a spam. So if you use Gmail or a good email provider, automatically it will take it to your spam folder, like it has done in this case. It has put it in my spam folder. I don't even open, I just go and delete the mails there because I think it does a good job. So that will be the advantage. All right. How can you get the certificate? So you get the certificate by going to our website. If I show you here, you go to FLU website. You go to here at the end of the website, and you see where you have Google Webinar Certificates under partnership. So you see here, Google Webinar Certificates. You open it here. You put your name, the name that, and please, we use Zoom. So if you use Techno, you use Apple, who knows it's you, you have to use your full name. So we're going to verify it. So you put your name and your email. Then you tell us the session that you attended. You click the session that you attended, and you submit the form. So we list all our webinars here. You put the session you have attended and you click submit. Then the webinar certificates, because it's optional, we don't just send it out. We only send to those who request. Then it will be sent to you. So remember, it's here on partnering Google Webinar Certificates.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, my question is with a Google password. So when someone gets access to my phone, it means the person is going to know all my password that I'm using in various apps or websites, or isn't it possible?
Yes, if somebody has access to your phone, that's very dangerous because he has most of your information, except your phone is locked. And if the person hacks your phone, if you use Android and use Apple, I can't explain it here. There's a way you can remotely shut down your Android or your Apple phone. So if somebody gets your phone but doesn't have your password, then it cannot really do much. But if somebody gets your phone and is able to break into your password, then you can shut down your phone remotely. But we can research that. But the best way is keep your phone locked, because most phones will not be easy to, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's not be easy for them to break your password. For most Android, Apple, and most phones, it will not be easy. Not impossible, but not easy. The person will have to really be a very, very tech expert, and there are few people that can do that. So I would say that the key point is to keep your phone passworded because that's where you have a lot of your apps and your banking details, and you don't want someone to get it. Okay. And
Yes,
why
sir.
do some
I-
okay, go ahead.
Okay, please
I
go
have a
ahead.
question.
Yeah, that's a question.
Oh, there are several questions. Okay, sorry, go
No,
ahead. Okay.
that's the question. It's just one. I just asked that sometimes, some authentic mails go into the spam folder, and even some authentic senders do say, if you can't find it, check your
Right.
why.
So that's what you call a false positive. That's what you call a false positive. So if it is a false positive, look at it here. You say report not spam. Somebody has reported that this thing is a spam, or Google is suspecting it. So if this, like, I know this is a spam, this is just fraud. This is not true. And it says from Adobe is a bank transfer. No, nobody's going to give me this money. I know it's not true. So, but if it is true and it's a false positive, because it's uses an algorithm, it's not a human being doing it, it's an algorithm. And algorithms can give you false, just like AI. When you ask AI a question, it gives you a wrong answer as if it is right. And it's so confident of its wrong answer. So you just come here and say report not spam. So you are right. Even our mails, some of the emails that Fake News University sends go to your spam email. So, but we're not like trying to scam you. So it does happen. You are very right that there are false positives. But once you say report not spam, any subsequent email coming from that provider will no longer go to your spam. But if you don't click report not spam, it will continue going as a spam email.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Right. Sorry, we're taking extra time for only those who are interested. I mean, we are free to sign out. I don't want to miss the questions. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. A few years ago, my Yahoo mail was hacked. Actually, I fell for a phishing link and I mistakenly entered my password. And it was that was the time I realized it was scam. And the account almost got into my email. But fortunately for me, I received a notification on my phone that someone is trying to log in, and I was asked if I should approve or not. So I quickly declined. However, since then, I have been receiving several spams, as in since then, spam every day. My inbox is always filled with this, you have 120,000, and I've deleted. I don't even know how to stop my
Okay.
email from receiving
Okay,
spam.
good. So I don't want to open my personal Yahoo here, but it's the same philosophy. For every email that you see that it's a spam, okay, first of all, like this one is saying unsubscribe, but you are able to block an email. Look at it here. Like in Google, you can see it says block financial credit control. This is one way. Another way is report phishing. So even if I don't just want to report them, I don't want this person, like you say, they'll keep sending you emails. I just block them. So what happens is that if you block them, just like you block people on WhatsApp, so that they are sending you, but they don't know that you're not getting it. So you can block people on email. So if you block them, if they send you, the server will not allow it drop. The server will bounce it back to them. So that's one way. So you can block, you can report. So if I go to my Yahoo, I don't want to open Yahoo, but it's the same philosophy. You will see in Yahoo, or I can actually help you just check my Yahoo, but I will not display my Yahoo mail because of my personal information there. But if you go to Yahoo, when you see a spam email, you are able to very much block it. And yeah, so that's it. You just block them. So once you block them, well, it's asking me to sign up. It's going to give you time. And what you did was also good. So what you did was a two-step authentication, because that was what saved you. You tied your Yahoo to your mobile phone, asking you to confirm. So some people don't tie, and if you don't tie, you can't confirm. So sorry, it's asking me to confirm my Yahoo mail to take a little time, but just check within your Yahoo. You see a way you can also block.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay. Any other comment? My Facebook account was hacked last year. Okay, go ahead before I read that one.
Please,
Yes.
please, can you go through the way of filling the forms for the web banner Google certificate?
Okay, I just said go to the website footer and click here. Google webinar certificates. And once you click it, put your name and choose. We've not updated for today, but we'll update it shortly. Hassan and James will do that. Choose the certificate, the session you attended, and submit it. And somebody will mail your certificate. But ensure that your name is the name you used here, because we're going to check the attendance with the name you used. And if you just use John, we don't know who John is. No, you didn't put a surname, and we may not be able to know you are the one, because we don't take manual attendance. Attendance are automatically taken on Zoom. Okay, I have another comment here. I'll round up hopefully with this one. It says, my Facebook account was hacked last year and the fellow changed the password and the email immediately. Is there a way I can recover? Well, I would say when that happens, you need to contact Facebook. And Facebook is going to ask you some questions. So once you can provide Facebook with the information, so it has happened to me where I lost some information. So Facebook will ask you like your date of birth. So they'll ask you to send some personal information. So if you created that Facebook account with your real name and your real identity, your real date of birth, Facebook will ask you to send them your ID card. And once you send Facebook your ID card, they will give you back your account if it is time. But if you created a fake Facebook account that is not you, it will be difficult for you to prove that you are the owner of the account. But once you can prove to Facebook that you are the owner with a national identity card, driver license, international passport, whatever national identity you have, usually that will enable you to recover it. Okay, so I take the last question from Atari Cabo. Yes.
Yes, sir. This is just a quick one. The last or the previous session that we had, the intro to Google AI, there's no certificate on the list that is provided. I don't know if
That's a good comment. So please, so initially we decided not to put it because recall that the last session we had, it was done directly by Google themselves. That was why we didn't do but we thought through it. So it's going to be updated. So thanks for that contribution. That's a good comment. So Hassan and James are here. They will help us update it, and you'll be able to, by the time within some hours when you check, it will be updated with the last one and today's one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone, and God bless you. Have a great weekend and God's favor.
Man, I need to. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you, sir.